Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
All right, first up in Weird and Wacky, electricity prices in France turn negative as renewable energy floods the grid. This sounds like a great problem to have. I don't see. Was this supposed to be a bad thing?
Take this electricity and this bucket of cash.
Have some free electricity and money. I want more electricity. Can I get more electricity and money? What kind of windmill do I have to put up in my house to make that happen? That's what I want to know.
I think you actually don't want the windmill. You want the thing that eats the energy, not creates the energy. Because if you do the windmill, then you're going to have to pay people to take the energy off of that. That's bad.
I don't want that.
Right? Like you want to be on the opposite end. Basically, you want to turn on every fan in your house and every heater. Actually, you want to turn on the heater and the air conditioner at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
And just let them fight it out while you collect the money.
Tell us about this story before we get too deep into that. What happened exactly?
Yeah, basically that's it. Like they are creating too much energy, more than what they can use. And so the actual price of energy has gone negative in certain situations.
Oh, I understand. You're saying like the more you use, like you get money. That's what you're saying. Like literally negative. Like theoretically.
I think it
that
decks
feels
out of your
very
bill.
Not planet friendly. Like, all right, honey, the energy's gone negative. Turn on the stove. Let's fire it all up. Here we go. Where's the extra refrigerators? Get all 14 of them in here. Let's plug them all in. Energy efficient. No way, man. We don't need no energy efficient stuff. Get to make some money.
It's fine because all that energy is from renewable sources. So, it's not bad for the planet. It's just, you're just moving the electrons around. Well, it's all fine.
Speaking of, I was driving, and I'll tell more about this story in a minute, but I was driving I-40 this last week, and man, there is a serious amount of windmills in I think it was in North Texas, so many windmills. Oh my gosh, it was wild. So
yeah. And like you say windmills, and sometimes you think the old timey windmills. But these are the gargantuan,
these things
massive
were crazy. They were crazy
deals, right? Those huge wind farms.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of cool actually when they're all spinning and circling. And it's like, oh yeah, there we go. Good for the environment right there. Talk about mirror finish actually for one more item. Reflective, and I think we've talked about this before. Reflective monolith in Las Vegas removed by police. What we know about the strange structure and others like it. Here's the best thing that I got out of this article.
Okay.
There's a website that tracks monoliths that I had no idea. Yeah, did you see that in the article?
That should be your tech rec. That's amazing. Yes. It's the monolith tracking website.
That is the bonus tech rec right here before we even get the tech recs. Yeah, it's monolithtracker.com.
Dude.
And it tells you about monoliths. And there's a page on this Wikipedia essentially site of monoliths that talks to you about this Las Vegas monolith. And apparently this thing has been there for years. And it was spotted in 2020. And now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, it's a problem with the environment.
Well, what's crazy to me is that, so a couple things. First of all, no one still knows who's putting up these random monoliths, right? So it's like the identity of Banksy. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is they're apparently happening a lot of places, all over the world.
Yeah.
This isn't just a random US one, sort of thing either. So it's a very elaborate something that's going on, which I find amazing and kind of hilarious. So,
right. And the other thing, if you read some of the people that have talked about this, that have inspected these items afterwards, they're like, the person or people that are doing this are highly, highly skilled. This isn't some person in their garage being like, hey, I got a welding torch. Let me put together a monolith. This is highly, highly, configured, highly, highly manufactured. They're talking about the welds being a single weld all the way across. There is a lot of skill and expertise that's going into producing these things. And the other part of me is who is funding this thing? Because these can't be cheap.
Yeah.
They're talking about this one in Las Vegas that potentially had to be dropped in by helicopter. That's not cheap to do either.
I got to say though, listen, Sanjay, if let's say I ever get to the point where I have more than $20 million in the bank. Okay. At that point, I'm going to come up with some random crazy idea just like this. And I'm going to set aside $250,000 a year just to fund it, just to screw with people, just to totally mess with everybody. That's what I'm going to do. So there's enough rich people with twisted senses of humor in the world to where, I would do it. I mean, I'm just saying, I would do it. I would do it.
We had that here in Georgia, those Georgia guideposts or whatever they were called. It was like Georgia's Stonehenge, and it had all these carvings in it. It recently got destroyed, I think.
Yeah.
Or badly damaged.
Okay,
but
listen.
This thing happened in the 50s and it has been around for like 60, 70 years.
You brought up Stonehenge. Did you know there is a replica Stonehenge made out of fiberglass in Gulf Shores, Alabama?
I did not know that.
Off the side of some random road, like not even in a park. No, you literally drive down this random road. You park literally on the shoulder of the road and have to go find it. And it's like off, like just a little bit in the woods somewhere. And you can like walk through this replica of, it's the weirdest, craziest thing. Yeah. So, and there's yeah, it's crazy.
So I just found it on Atlas Obscura. I'm going to add a link into the show notes about this. But on Atlas Obscura, it's called Bamahenge.
That's it. Yep.
Because
Bamahenge,
of course.
Yep. And there's like some like random like replicas of dinosaurs there. And there used to be, I don't know if there still is, but a lady in the lake and like her head and like legs like were coming out of the lake in the harbor. Yeah, I'm not even kidding, man. It's the weirdest thing. We took the kids there one time. Like, what is happening?
There's pictures of it. There's pictures of the lady in the lake.
Yeah.
What is happening here? And there's a T-Rex and there's some dinosaurs.
It's very weird. Yes.
What is happening?
It's very, very strange.
Alabama.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Doing all kinds of things over there.
There you go.